All right, Cage Side Press fighting March 16th, UFC Apex. Cory McKenna. Cory, it's been a while. We haven't seen you in the cage. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Definitely doing a lot better now that I've got a fight booked and I'm back in the gym. So I'm really excited to have something scheduled and be working towards that.
And we're 100% healthy, good to go now, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It was a long layoff, a lot longer than I anticipated, but we had to make sure we were right and we were ready and we got there. So now we're ready to go.
Yeah, because last time we talked, you were disappointed that you wouldn't be able to get on the next London card because you had so many just like lingering injuries and stuff. So was it like anything big or just a bunch of small stuff you needed to get figured out?
I mean, I just I had some viral infections, a few injuries, a couple concussions, like so kind of just like a lot of back-to-back stuff that ended up taking the whole year.
Yeah.
I did my best to work around it and everything, but obviously there's a level you got to be at to be able to fight and to be able to perform at this level. So I definitely couldn't get myself to that until the end of last year, and then the earliest we could get a fight booked was March. So I had to be patient, and now we're ready to go.
And before we get into the fight, you've kept very busy outside of fighting. You're commentating for A1, doing the interviews. So like, how's that experience been so far? I love the stuff you guys are putting out over there.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been great. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to kind of like explore different avenues within the sport. I like it because it allows me to keep involved. It keeps my mind sharp when it comes to MMA. It's funny because I actually get more nervous doing that stuff than I do fighting because I'm just like, oh, everyone's gonna hear me. But
Wow.
it's good. It's kept me out there. It's kept me busy. It's kept me involved in the sport, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And I'm having a great time doing it also.
And is this something you want to continue either during your career or after your career? Like, do you see a future in this?
Yeah, definitely. MMA has a lot of opportunities to stay involved in the sport, like I mentioned. Like so whether I'm out from fighting or even during my career or after my career, like it's cool that there's so many opportunities for me to stay involved within the sport because I have dedicated pretty much my whole life to this sport.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be great for me to be able to stay involved and kind of keep my hand in there even when I'm not fighting or while I'm taking breaks between fights and stuff. So yeah, definitely something I want to keep up with, and I've been really enjoying it, so I don't see why not.
And then has any other promotion reached out to you at all yet? Like I know Cage Fury, they just had Renato Moicano on. So obviously promotions love to get guest fighters on as commentary.
They haven't, but if there's anyone listening, I am always down.
Say less. We'll send it to the masses, get you on some more mics. And Cory,
Perfect.
just as we're talking about, A1 and Urijah Faber, you train a team alpha male. Has this extended camp been a blessing in disguise at all? Obviously, you haven't been in the cage for a while and you're dealing with some health issues, but now that you're back, are you like, okay, I'm glad this was such a long camp?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, I've got nothing left to prove. I feel like everything that I've gone through the last couple of years would have been enough to make, your average fighter quit. So I feel like it's been good to kind of test myself in terms of like my mental strength and my heart. It's like it's forced me out of my comfort zone. I've had to work around stuff. I've had to kind of like, stay strong, but I'm always working year round anyway. So even when I was out with the sickness and stuff, I was finding ways to like we sort of spoke with the commentary and stuff to stay involved. But I'm very fortunate very grateful and fortunate to have this team. Like say, like they're always happy to help me work around stuff. They're always very like my coaches are very invested, very supportive, and they really helped get me through everything. And yeah, they're helping me prepare now, and we're gonna go out there and hopefully put on a great performance for everybody.
And your Instagram is just loaded with you and pictures of top tier talent working with people in the gym and other gyms. So I guess for the lead up for this one, who's been like your main training partners who you've been working with a lot?
Yeah, I mean, my main training partner at Alpha Male currently has been Tina Black. I don't know if you guys watched the A1 or saw the viral women's
Oh
knockout,
yeah.
but that's that's been who's doing my main. We've both been in fight camp, so we've been just going at it, and that chick can hit, and she didn't get to display her grappling, but her grappling has come on tenfold since she moved out here to Alpha Male. So she's a force to be reckoned with, and we're gonna see her in the UFC eventually, like soon, hopefully sooner than later, because there's only so many of those punches I can take. But but no, it's like, so I've been training a lot with her, and that gives me a lot of confidence because she's one of the, like, it's the toughest, strongest girls that I've ever met, inside and outside of the UFC. So it's, giving me all the confidence coming into this fight. And then I literally just got back from San Diego. I was training with Angela Hill, Jenna Bishop, like a bunch of girls down there. So yeah, super high level on the mat, like wherever I go, and I'm really grateful to be able to get working with such high level women.
And then I actually talked to Urijah last week about something else you guys are working on that not a lot of people know about yet, called Combat U. And I know you're a part of Combat U. And essentially, for those who don't know, it's a college program to get students involved in MMA training, but not only MMA training, just professional, high level, world class MMA training and alpha male. So, what role are you taking with Combat U, and how do you feel about the program?
Yeah, it's really exciting. My husband's actually the executive director of it.
Mm.
I'm gonna be taking like kind of just an assistant coach role, just trying to help out, be a little bit of a face for the women's side of things. Obviously there's, we've got young girls on the team that go to college and stuff, so it's cool to be able to get some more women through the gym and boost that, boost female confidence coming into here. But also, as you mentioned, it's going to be a great feeder program for amateur MMA and then the pro team, and it's kind of going to be like a step-by-step building block for getting into MMA. A lot of us kind of had to jump into the deep end and figure it out ourselves growing up. Like, Uriah started fighting out of college and stuff like that, but there was never really like there was never guidance on the correct way to
Right.
go about it. So I think it's cool now that kids are going to have a support system and direction and ways to build a career as opposed to just, taking amateur fights in casinos and hoping for the best. Which luckily I never had to do because I was fortunate enough to be in the UK, but but I know that out here it's a little different, and a lot of people need that guidance. And I think it's great that your eyes being able to build a program that's going to enable that for the upcoming generation. I think it's going to really boost the involvement in the sport and kind of normalize it a little bit more in the mainstream.
You ever see NCAA like recognizing MMA? Like they have wrestling and soccer, football, all these sports. They don't have MMA. Do you ever see that happening?
I don't know. It's kind of like the same argument when people talk about like MMA in the Olympics. I feel like it's I feel like you get like the sport version of it. MMA is one of those things where you can't really make it like friendly. You know what I mean? Like it's a fight. So I don't know. It's a little hard. Like I know a lot of people would love that. And I mean this is maybe the first step in that direction, but I can't say for sure whether we would or we wouldn't. I know that there's even still in this day and age, there's still pushback with stuff like this, with people thinking, it's fighting, it's rough, we shouldn't have kids doing it or whatever. I mean, college kids aren't really kids anyway, because they're like mini adults, but
Liability, though.
yeah, like, well, so it's just like, you got your I'm going to make sure I don't say anything that's going to insult anybody, but you got old school people that are very traditional, and they're going to push back, and they don't want to, they don't really understand it from a sport perspective. But I think it's really cool that and groundbreaking to be making these steps in that direction.
And then before I ask you about the fight itself, who's going to be with you in the corner for this one?
I am going to have Uriah Faber, Danny Castillo, and Jack Mason. They're my three go-to. I've had them in most of my fights. Jack's my like one of my managers, first ever coach. He's been with me from day one, and he'll be with me till the end. And then obviously we all know who Uriah Faber is, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Danny Castillo is too.
Yeah.
So solid corner team. Very excited, and I'm very happy to have their support.
Jaqueline Amorim. What are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, she's a solid opponent. I there's no easy fights now. We're at that level where it's like everyone's a solid opponent. She's world class jiu-jitsu black belt, LFA champ. So it's gonna be fun. Like it's a test. It's someone that I know is gonna come out there, someone that's probably gonna be the betting favorite again. I don't, but like it's gonna be fun. Like it's a test. Like you say, I don't. There's no easy fights in the UFC, but at the same time, like I don't want the easy fights. Ever since I first started fighting, I was fighting like world class girls, and I think it's just it's just another step on the journey, and I'm not counting her out. Like, I know she's going to be a solid girl, and I'm excited to test myself against her, and hopefully we'll both get to show some, some high level skill sets and put on an exciting fight for the crowd.
If you care at all, the betting odds right now, it's just about a pick 'em. So
Oh,
don't
cool.
worry. Got
Didn't see
you.
that coming. That's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, when you look at your two styles going head to head, like what kind of fight do you see this being? Do you think it's going to be like a 3-round bloody affair? You think someone's going to find a quick finish? Like, how do you see it going down?
See, that's a hard one because obviously, like they say, styles make fights. I feel like she's fought a lot of girls that haven't necessarily wanted to engage in grappling with her. But I grapple, so I'm not against that. I kind of I do get excited when like sparring and fighting girls that are a little more grappling heavy because I get to kind of test that side of things, and there's different openings for someone that's willing to play that game. But at the same time, like I do feel like I've slowly started showcasing my striking. I did have a lot of striking experience growing up too, so a lot of people count out my striking. So I could I could really see it going either way. Sometimes you get two grapplers in there and they just subconsciously make that decision to box with each other, or maybe we both go, all right, let's see who's better at this game, and we both play to our strengths. You know what I mean? I think it could very much come down to who plays the strengths on the night. And I'm excited for wherever it ends up. I feel like I've been working really hard with my striking, really hard with my grappling, and I don't really mind either way. I just know that I personally want the finish, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it. But I'm not gonna call what it's gonna be because you never know what presents itself on the night.
Oh, absolutely. And in the hot seat lately, I don't know, kind of always is the UFC Apex Center, right? I personally think it's cool. I like the environment. I don't know if it should happen as frequent as it happens, but I think it's a great outlet and place to hold fights. You're undefeated at the Apex Center. So, what are your thoughts on the building?
Yeah, I clearly love it. I'm like I'm there most of my fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. It's straight to business. We get in, we get out. There's not a lot of faff around it. Like I'm one of those people that like I love to fight. I'm actually not really like obviously I'm grateful for the support and everything, but I'm not huge on the lights, the cameras, the people. Like I love the support, but at the same time, like I'm a very introverted, chill person that kind of like I do like the calm of the apex, just going out there, getting your job done and leaving. But at the same time, like you say, it's really cool to have the support and everything of a crowd. So I'm not like anti that, but I definitely don't think the Apex deserves as much hate as it gets. But I might be biased. Like you said, I'm undefeated in the Apex. I'm just gonna crown myself the queen of the Apex.
I love the Apex. I think if they put some more seats in there, and it's not that they're like weak cards. I don't know if there's really a weak UFC card anymore, but they stack other cards around the Apex cards. So I think
Yeah,
if
they
they
want to sell
added,
tickets.
yeah, I think if they added some more seats to the Apex, just some, not crazy, just some,
Yeah, no,
could
I
go a
agree
long
with
way.
you on that. I was trying to buy a ticket to my fight, and they weren't for sale, and then all of a sudden they were sold out, and they were reselling at like over $4,000.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, so I'm just taking my corner team to this one.
I don't
But
blame you for that.
yeah, you never know. Maybe they'll let me stick up like a little deck chair on the corner and have my husband in there. But I was like, this is insane. I think that's probably like the only that would be my only like not complaint, but like disappointment with the Apex is like obviously I can't have my family and loved ones there as easily. But as, in terms of like the show itself, like I do kind of enjoy the Apex cards. Like I say, they're pretty straightforward and to the point.
And then Cory, after this win, when are you looking to get back in there? Are you looking up to make up for lost time at all? Like how many fights you want to get this year?
I've learned not to say. I've learned not to get my heart set on anything the hard way, unfortunately. Every time I say I want to be active, every time I say I want 3 or 4 fights, I end up getting like injured or getting sick. So right now the only thing that I'm focused on is Jaqueline Amorim, and we'll worry about the future after that. But right now I've got one task ahead of me, and that's getting my 100% focus.
Well, I'll ask one more question about the future, but this isn't really envisioning. This is more of a preference. UFC London or a UFC Southern California card? Which would you rather be on?
Ooh.
Because I know you're just at the Cali card and it was great.
it was a good card, and I do hate traveling, but it would be a good opportunity to go home and have my family and everyone there. So that's a tough one. I'm gonna say UFC London just because obviously home, but I'll take a California card also. I'm not picky.
Both is an acceptable answer, so we'll go with both. We
Yeah,
want to get
I
on
was gonna
both.
say, I was like, that felt like a trick question. I was like, there's no wrong answer there.
No, there's no wrong answer. And then, Cory, last question from me. And I saw you already asked about this, but I'll ask you again too. UFC 300, obviously, your division's belt is on the line. Wei Li Zhang, Yan Xiaonan. How do you see this fight going down? Did your opinion change at all, or still feel the same?
I still feel the same. You know, I think obviously Whaley is a phenomenal athlete. You know, I you know, one of the best to do it, but Yan's working really hard. She's got a phenomenal team around her also. And yeah, it's again, it's a pick 'em for me. Like I think both girls could show up on the night, and it could be one of the best fights. Or maybe you know, one girl doesn't show up as on top of her game, and someone capitalizes. I think they're both phenomenal athletes. They're both very sharp, well rounded. You know, they're both training at a very high level with amazing teams, and I can't pick them. I'm just going to be excited and wait for it.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Great card. Everyone, myself, and all the fans can't wait for it. But Cory, before I get you out of here, you have so many fans looking forward to the return. So that being said, anything you'd like to say to everyone? If so, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, say thank you for all the support. Thank you for the patience. Obviously the layoffs are not ideal. It's not something that I, as an individual, wanted. So I'm just grateful to have retained support throughout that. And I hope I can go out there and make everybody proud on March 16th.
March 16th, UFC at the Apex Center. Cory McKenna kicks off for 2024 season. Cory, thank you so much. Kick some ass, and we'll talk after that dub, yeah?
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's do it.